Hey guys, Game Prime here, and welcome to another video that'll probably never come out. But if it does, that means that today is the day that the PlayStation 5 comes out, and I couldn't be any more excited. The next generation is here, and we're about to witness so many phenomenal games, and it's all starting today with games like Spider-Man Miles Morales and Demon's Souls. But I figured since next gen is here, that I'd share with you all my top 10 PS4 games leading up to the PS5 as we wrap up this generation and move to a new one. Number 10. The Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection, The Last of Us Remastered, and Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 HD Remix. So, the first three choices in this list are remasters of some of the PS3's best games. I'm including them in my list as one choice, not only for them being already phenomenal games and collections, but because the PlayStation 4 really utilized these to their full potential. Starting off with the Nathan Drake Collection, in addition to adding 60 frames per second support to all three classic Uncharted games, they improved the models, lighting, controls, and so many other little details that just improve these games even more than how they were on their original PS3 counterparts. The same could be said for The Last of Us Remastered as well, since that came out the year prior to the Nathan Drake Collection and improved many things like textures, environments, and models, as well as improving the games and quality to 1080p and now up to 4K support on the PS4 Pro. The Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 HD Remix Collection combined two great Kingdom Hearts collections for PS3 and brought them over to PS4 with 60 frames per second on all four games, as well as two movies for the DS titles. This is the best way to experience any of these games, and the PlayStation 4 technology really utilized itself well in making these games play and look the best possible. Number 9. YAKUZA KIWAMI. If this generation did one thing incredibly well, it was bringing attention to some series that haven't yet got recognized for their greatness here in North America. One of those series was the YAKUZA series from Sega. These games are a ton of fun, and I got my start with the series with the remake of the first game, YAKUZA KIWAMI. You could have handed me this game and told me this was a brand new AAA game coming out for the PS4 in 2018, and I would have totally believed you. This is a full remake of the first Yakuza game on the PS2 from all the way back in 2005. With everything updated, this truly felt like a next-gen experience, especially playing on the PS4 Pro. Being able to beat people up all over Kamurocho, as well as experiencing the fun story this game offered, was a true treat. This series is so much fun and over the top. I'm excited to play the rest of the series on PS5 with the improvements they'll bring to these great games, along with trying out the newest installment, Like a Dragon, which actually just released a couple days ago. Number 8, Until Dawn. In the PlayStation 3 era, I got introduced to the genre of interactive drama with games like Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. These games were the pinnacle of interactive storytelling, and I personally prefer them over any game Telltale has ever made. But in 2015, we got the next best one with Until Dawn. Instead of just being a drama story, the developers over at Supermassive Games went for the horror route as you decide who lives and who dies as a group of friends go to a ski lodge to commemorate the anniversary of their two best friends' death. But come to find out, there's more than what meets the eye as a lot of scary and spooky things happen, and everyone's lives get threatened. This was such a fun game to experience back in 2015, and it holds up incredibly well to this day. I recommend everyone go try this game out on their PS5s when it comes to the PS Plus collection today. Number 7, Ratchet and Clank 2016. If I had to pick one good thing and one bad thing about this generation, the good thing would be that 3D platformers got an incredible revival with games like the Crash Bandicoot series and Spyro series coming back, along with new IPs coming out with hit games like Yooka-Laylee and A Hat in Time. The bad thing, however, would be that not all 3D platformer mascots got time to shine in the light on these new systems. Sony was only able to pull out one of the PS2 platformer trios from the trenches for a new game on the PS4, and that was Ratchet and Clank, a game that was based on the movie, which was based on the game. So in this title, it was more so of a retelling of the first Ratchet and Clank game from 2002 than it was a brand spanking new title. But there were still plenty of new things to do, and it carved its own identity while still sharing the DNA of the 2002 original. At this time, this was one of the most gorgeous looking PS4 games, and it still holds up incredibly well. It was also a trophy hunter's wet dream, as this game was super fun to platinum. I'm so excited for Rift Apart next year, and can't wait to finally get a new adventure with these two after so long. Number 6, Kingdom Hearts 3. The only third-party game on this list goes to a series that started on PlayStation years back. And even though I mentioned the 1.5 plus 2.5 HD Remix collection a few minutes ago, both those collections were exclusive to PlayStation for years, so this is truly the only third-party game on this list. Kingdom Hearts 3 was everything I wanted out of a conclusion to a near 20-year story of the Darkseeker saga. Every world, every song, every moment felt special, and being able to play a Kingdom Hearts game that visually looked like the opening to one of the older games was just stunning, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Plus the Remind DLC that came out this year. Number 5, God of War 2018. It's very rare for a developer to take a beloved series and change almost everything about its gameplay style. Santa Monica did just that, and they ended up making one of the best games I've ever played on the PlayStation 4. God of War from 2018 was a masterpiece in every sense. Being able to take some of the gameplay mechanics from the original hack and slash series and bring it into a third-person over-the-shoulder view, they managed to completely reinvent the God of War series. With a huge open world, plenty of new RPG mechanics to upgrade your armor, weapons, etc., and a story that is honestly one of the best you will experience in any medium, God of War had everything. Not to mention its beautiful visuals with 4K support on the PS4 Pro, and the award-winning performances from Christopher Judge and Sonny Suljic. This game is one of a kind, and I cannot wait for Ragnarok to come. Number 4, Marvel's Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility, and I couldn't think of a better developer to give that responsibility to than Insomniac Games. Being lifelong fans of the characters in comics, they did a fantastic job with giving us the best Spider-Man game in years. Swinging around in New York City felt absolutely amazing, and beating bad guys up felt the best it's ever felt in any superhero game. They completely littered the game with collectibles to find, and it was a completionist's dream game. It was a treat to platinum this game because it was just that addictive. In addition to looking absolutely stunning on the PS4 Pro, the performances from Yuri Lowenthal and Laura Bailey gave these already familiar characters their own identity, and I couldn't be any more excited to swing around in New York City once again in Spider-Man Miles Morales. Number 3, The Last of Us Part 2. Naughty Dog are masters at making masterpieces. Making a follow-up to one of the greatest games of all time was probably one of the hardest things Naughty Dog ever had to take on as a developer. But in my eyes, they did amazing. The Last of Us Part 2 was a near-perfect sequel to the original game by adding on to the already complex story and shocking the player at every turn. I was hooked from beginning to end. Now, a few months have gone by since the game came out, and I've been able to look back on it a bit. The story still holds up really well and is as uncomfortable as ever, although now looking back, the pacing is a little odd. But being able to see more of Joel and Ellie's adventure was such a treat to fans, and it was just a fantastic experience from the start to the credits. This game is one of the best looking games on the system, and the gameplay is just buttery smooth. I've never seen so much detail go into gameplay in my life. Characters will sweat, they will bleed, cry, limp, and so much more. I will fully admit this game isn't for everyone, but the attention to detail is so insane, and I really enjoyed the story for what it was. Troy Baker, Ashley Johnson, and Laura Bailey bring this game to life with their performances, and you could feel the emotion seep off of them when you play this game and watch their cutscenes. The Last of Us Part 2 is one of the most talked about games of this generation, and for good reason. Number 2, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Naughty Dog are masters at making masterpieces. This statement holds up even better for Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, as this, to me, was Sony's highlight of this generation. Wrapping up Nathan Drake's story with one more fantastic adventure was everything I wanted on the PS4. This, to me, is the best looking PS4 game of all time, and I still stand by that statement today. The technology Naughty Dog implemented in this game was insane for 2016, and it looked gorgeous on a day one PlayStation 4. Nearly every single thing about this game was perfect, and I love going back to this game every few years as the gameplay and the story hold up forever. The way they managed to take the gameplay from the original Uncharted trilogy on PS3 and implement that in new ways on the PlayStation 4, utilizing all the technology and hardware that they had on that system, just made Nathan Drake's last adventure even more worthwhile than it already was. Nolan North, Troy Baker, Richard McGonigal, Emily Rose, I thank you all for the memories you guys have left every single one of us with this series. And also a huge thank you to Amy Hennig for making this series and giving life to every single character and story we've witnessed through Nathan Drake's life. And to Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley, thank you for both handling Nathan Drake's last adventure with such care. I am beyond excited to see how this game plays and looks on a PlayStation 5, as well as hoping to see a new Uncharted adventure on the PS5 in the near future. Honorable mentions: Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Shadow of the Colossus Remake, Astrobot. Number 1, Persona 5/Persona 5 Royal. If there was going to be a game that dethrones Uncharted from the top of my list, it's Persona 5. Now, I've made plenty of content on this channel already about these games, so I'll do my best to keep this short. Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal were hands down two of the best games I've ever played in my life, as well as some of the best games on the PlayStation 4. Every single thing about these games are perfect, from the awesome JRPG combat system, to the fun social simulation aspect, to the amazing music and the well-rounded and fleshed out characters. Persona 5 has something for everyone. Not only was the original game fantastic, but Persona 5 did something I've never seen happen in video games. Instead of them simply re-releasing the game with very small and minimal improvements, they took what was already a masterpiece of a game and made it even better. With a whole new semester, new characters, new music, and gameplay improvements going from the PS4 to the PS4 Pro, Persona 5 Royal takes the crown of the best PS4 game of all time leading up to the PS5's release. Thank you guys for watching. I know this was a super quick video for me to throw together, but I wanted to make something to celebrate the passing of the torch from this generation to the next. I'm so excited for PS5 and will definitely be making content on it very, very soon, along with all my multiplayer channel for player gamers. If you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what your favorite PlayStation 4 game was of all time leading up to this new console's release. And yeah, enjoy the PS5, guys. It's a very rare time for a new console to be releasing. It only happens once in a while. So enjoy everything that has to come from this new console's release. I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to see everything that this console is going to give us in the next 7 to 8 years. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.